Did you know 86% of Americans have gambled at some point in their life? 60% gamble in any given year. Approximately 3 million Americans meet the criteria for pathological gambling. Pathological gambling disorder occurs when a person gambles compulsively to such an extent that the wagering has a severe negative effect on his or her job, relationships, mental health, and other important aspects of their life. People that are pathological gamblers are more likely to have problems with drinking, drugs, depression, smoking, and also has been linked to higher cases of suicide. Gambling has caused families to break up. Gamblers have lost everything from their wives and husbands to their kids, from their cars and their houses, all because of their addiction. You may have never known that gambling was such a problem in the United States. I became interested in this topic about gambling whenever I was on an online poker site, and I seen that people were making wagers of over $100,000 on one single hand. This made me think that whether gambling should be legal, everywhere, or if we should try to delegalize it and regulate it. In order to prevent gambling from ruining any more families or causing people to commit suicide, the government needs to look at different ways to ban all kinds of gambling. Gambling can directly affect you. It could be you have a gambling problem, a family member, or even a close friend or somebody that you just might know. So many Americans have this problem because of the easy access that you have on gambling. The internet websites is probably the easiest one. All you need to open up an account is just a bank account, and you can access any of these websites and gamble and make the wagers of any amount that you want. You can bet on any kind of sporting event, from baseball, basketball, horse racing, NASCAR, any of the above. You can play card games such as blackjack or Texas Hold'em. You can play almost any other game, even casino games such as Russian roulette or craps. There's also Indian reservation casinos, which are located all around here in North Carolina and so forth. The casinos, they're pretty easy to get to. They're usually within driving distance of where just about anybody lives. There's also offshore boats, cruise lines, riverboat gambling. Anything that's located or travels 3 miles outside of the U.S. coast is considered international water, and you can gamble there. Let's talk about what can be done to prevent this serious problem. Many ways we could go about solving this dangerous addiction of gambling. We could let the government step in and restrict gambling. One of the biggest ways we could do this would be stop citizens from using gambling websites by not letting them transfer funds from these sites into their United States bank accounts. This would make it very difficult for gamblers to cash out their winnings. If it took a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks for somebody to transfer the funds into an overseas bank account and then transfer it back into the United States, it would deter gambling greatly, and less people would gamble on the internet. You could also find new ways for Indian reservations to make money. You could take where the casinos stand right now and turn them into museums or parks, and then give them huge tax breaks on the money they do make. Offshore gambling on the boats, they can gamble anywhere 3 miles off the coast. You could pass a law saying that U.S. companies cannot participate in gambling unless adopted in another country where it is legal. What will happen if gambling continues? I believe if gambling continues to grow at the rate it's at, it will affect many more American families and ruin a lot more people's financial future and lives. The public perception of gambling is that it's alright. It makes Americans think that there is no consequences to their actions, that gambling is perceived as much like a sport, like baseball or a hobby. It has led families to break up and financial problems, all of which baseball, which would be considered a sport, has never done. The steps we can take to prevent gambling from happening: every single pathological gambler could be stopped from ruining their lives and the people around them lives. Look around to see if you know anybody that fits the description of a gambler. If they do, they need to get help immediately. Help can be found by going to websites such as www.ncpgambling.org. On this website, it gives you names of psychiatrists you can talk to and people that can help you out. It will give you a whole list of people that could help you with your gambling addiction. It also gives you information on the website of how to stop and prevent this from happening, and it will give you ways out that most people don't know about. It's important to realize if you do have a gambling problem and the negative effects that it can have on your life before it's too late and it causes bad things to happen. Another important step is not only by helping someone with a gambling problem, but also preventing the people from other people from suffering this fate. You could write your senators and address the issue about gambling that we have discussed, the Indian reservations, the offshore boats, the restriction on U.S. funds. You could also help organizations such as Gamblers Anonymous. You could donate money to them, or you could go find a local meeting and help out. Any way that they needed help by bringing food or giving somebody a ride. Just anything that you could do. In conclusion, gambling is a serious problem facing our society and many families today. The citizens and the government need to step up and take action and try to prevent gambling from becoming even a more serious problem than it already is. There is one sure way that gambling will never be a problem for you. It's by never starting gambling. Thank you. Give us